What happens when power goes unchecked in society? This question takes us back to the 18th century Russia, where a woman named Darya Saltykova held a position of untold influence and affluence. Known for her striking beauty and immense wealth, Saltykova was a figure who commanded respect and admiration. Her status as a noblewoman meant she was born into privilege, a privilege that bestowed upon her an insurmountable amount of power. In a society where the rich and powerful were often regarded as untouchable, Saltykova was no exception. Her influence extended far and wide, and her actions, no matter how inhumane, were often overlooked. But as we delve deeper into her life, we start to unravel a chilling narrative. A narrative that is as unsettling as it is horrifying. This is the story of a woman who used her wealth and status to mask the dark deeds she committed behind closed doors. Yet, beneath her glamorous facade, a dark secret lurked. Her noble title and wealth concealed a brutal truth. Darya Saltykova, a picture of elegance and affluence, was a terror to those who served her. Behind the grandeur of her noble status, a horrifying narrative unfolded, a reign of terror that would claim the lives of over 100 serfs. The victims, predominantly young women, found themselves ensnared in a web of power and cruelty. In the confines of her estate, Saltykova exercised a monstrous authority, torturing and murdering those who were bound to her by the chains of serfdom. The very individuals who toiled under her rule, who contributed to her wealth, became the unwilling actors in her brutal theater of dominance and pain. The power dynamics of 18th century Russia provided a chilling backdrop to these heinous acts. The serfs, unable to seek justice due to their social status, were trapped in a vicious cycle of fear and submission. With no recourse to law or protection, their lives were at the mercy of their mistress's cruel whims. Saltykova's reign of terror was a stark display of unchecked power. A noblewoman, she was seen as untouchable, her actions unrestricted by law or morality. The social hierarchy of the time allowed her to cloak her crimes in the shadow of her noble status and wealth. But as the death toll rose, so did the whispers of her sadistic deeds. Years of silent suffering finally echoed through the halls of power. The cries for justice had become too loud to ignore, and thus, the authorities, compelled by the weight of these pleas, launched an investigation into the atrocities committed by Darya Saltykova. This was a move that shook the foundation of Russian society, as the untouchable were being held accountable. Rumors of the investigation spread like wildfire, igniting shock and disbelief. Could this woman of beauty, wealth, and status, so revered by her peers, truly be a monster hiding in plain sight? Could she really be held accountable for her heinous deeds? The society watched, gripped in suspense as the wheels of justice began to turn. The investigation led to her arrest and subsequent trial, an unprecedented event that sent ripples through the echelons of the nobility. The unthinkable had happened. The untouchable had been touched, but would justice truly be served? The hammer of justice fell, but softly. As the gavel struck, Saltykova's fate was sealed, a life sentence to be served not in a dank, dark dungeon, but within the confines of a monastery cell. A punishment that, to many, seemed insufficient for the magnitude of her crimes. Yet the constraints of her noble status limited the severity of her sentence. This was her golden cage, a sheltered prison, a symbol of her privilege. Her golden cage was a stark reminder of the class divide. Saltykova's legacy is a chilling reminder of unchecked power. Her heinous acts, committed under the guise of nobility, left a permanent stain on Russian society. Her case, which saw a noblewoman known for her beauty and wealth, convicted for the torture and murder of over 100 serfs, sent shockwaves through the country. It was a stark example of the abuse of power and the depths of cruelty one individual could descend into when given unchecked control over others. This case served as a catalyst for legal and social reforms in Russia, challenging the class disparity that had allowed such atrocities to occur. It resonated as a cautionary tale, highlighting the dangers of unchecked power and the need for accountability, regardless of one's status. In the annals of history, Darya Saltykova remains an unsettling enigma, a symbol of unchecked power and its devastating consequences.